Hi everyone, very good morning. Welcome back to ITOM Batch 3, Day 2. How are you doing guys today?
You're doing well?
Good, good.
Good. Good to hear. I just want to check with you before proceeding to today's class. Any questions, any doubts what we have covered yesterday related to the ITOM licensing, ITOM modules and all? Any questions from anyone else? Okay, I take silence as a no.
Maybe no, maybe as
Yeah.
this may be a
Yes.
repetitive question of yesterday. If you could able to get us some real calculation of the licensing would really help. Maybe 5 minutes. You showed us the varieties of the standard, professional, and other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
give us some numbers in the how the subscription units works. I don't think so it's very straightforward in my understanding, but giving
Definitely.
that
Definitely.
little bit clarity would give maybe end of the call also fine, just for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so
And my
let me
second
give.
question is,
Yeah,
I'll finish my second question if you don't mind. How to download this in the recording? Because I haven't yesterday I couldn't able to. Is there an option you'll send
I
me or
will.
how is it?
I will
You?
showcase you on that one. No issues.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
so the
That's it.
first thing is, I don't want to be talk on the license on that particular because licensing is something managed by the service now, right? As I mentioned, that is varies customer to customer how they are selling their license to the customer to customer. That is not standard, what I feel, right? But as I mentioned, the licensing for the discovery is counting based on the CI count of physical device, network devices, and the storage. So let's take an example. You have 500 CIs which you want to be discovered, but in that 500, only 200 is the physical, 100 is networks, and 5 or 10 is storage, right? So actual count of your licensing utilize is approx 310. Other than the total 500 count, other than 190s might be virtual server or might be different things. So ServiceNow is not calculated licensing for that particular devices, right? That my understanding says that I see for a couple of customers, but as I mentioned, that is sometimes varies customer to customer how they are selling and how they are calculating. Second thing, at the same for event management as well, right? So how many CI's event you have received from different monitoring solutions? Is that possibility as well? Like, you have 100 or, you have 10 monitoring systems, which is monitoring your infra, but at the time, all 10 monitoring systems also monitoring the same type of devices, but monitoring the different capacity of the particular functionality of that particular device. So might be ASCOM is monitoring the infra only of for Windows servers. The same way App Dynamics is monitoring of the same Windows server application performance, and the same storage, oh sorry, and same SolarWinds is going to be monitor the network performance, and also couple of other thresholds or things for the same Windows server. So if for event management, it will be calculated per CI. So how many CIs they are going to be received the alert, that is part of that event management licensing, right? So it at my understanding is node per node per license, and that is going to be calculate, if I'm not wrong, for 90 days of average. I hope you're getting it now.
Yeah, quite better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Thank you.
okay. Now let me share my screen and let's get started. Let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes.
So you asked me how you can download. I think I'm not able to share directly from here. One moment, let me see if I able to showcase you. No, I am not. Let me see. Example, I am in ITOM batch 2. There is one recording available because that is expired, as I mentioned, that is expired in 30 days. But if you go click on the dots, you can see download available here, saves to download.
Okay, I'll check it out
Right,
then. Thank you.
right. So you can
We can
download
move on.
any
Yeah.
video from there, right? Yeah. Okay, now let's get started on the basics of the CMDB. So let's start. Like, how many you knows what is CMDB?
It
I think
is
as name says,
a
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
it's a warehouse where the data are managing.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, Ajay, we can say it
Yes.
as single source of truth.
Mm-hmm.
CMDB is basically the repository of the IT related information.
Right. Exactly. So is that, the definition also the name itself, CMDB, Configuration Management Database. When we are talking about database, it, it can be any type of database, which is going to be store the data, right? If I'm talking about Oracle, MySQL, or different type of database available, right? What they are doing, they are just storing the data related to that, right? The same way, CMDB is a configuration management database, which is central repository that act as a data warehouse, storing informations about your IT environment, and it a purpose-built database for configuration management, which is specially built for configuration management data to store, right? Now, what is going to be stored in the CMDB? So when anything is going to be stored in the CMDB, we called CI. CI is configuration item, right? Where we are going to be store the relevant data informations of the CI. We are going to be store the, that company that particular CI belongs to, hardware related informations. What is that, CPU, what is OS, or what is RAM or hard disk, whatever on that particular CI. What is IP address of it, network related informations, warranty details, software licensing, documentation, and many more. So a configuration item where records include lots of information about that configuration items that can be anything related to that, we call CI. And CI also going to be stored informations as manufacturer, vendor, locations, SSID, serial numbers, DNS, and that can be modified or added or deleted on the, to make our CMDB up to date, right? So ACI is part of the CMDB, and multiple of the CIs will create, you know, a if a single CI in the CMDB, we cannot say it's a data storing because it's only one single CI. But if it is storing more than single CIs and the relationships of that particular CIs to each other informations about that then we call CMDB, right? So we have complete database available for our organizations. How organizations, managing that particular CMDB, as you know, like if we are working in an enterprise organization or any service-based organizations, they have their customer data as well. So they are also going to be managed couple of customer related CIs in the CMDB as well, right? So they want to be uh, uh, differentiate between their own CIs as well as their customer CIs. So they have fields as well, like that particular CI belongs to which organization. We have company. The same way locations we have it, right? So we can understand that particular CI physical or the virtual location belongs to XYZ data center, right? So they are going to be managed that as well. end of the day, they want to be understand what what is the utilization of our CIs, right? How many count we have it, how many CIs belongs to which application, which business service, what who is the actual owner of that particular CI, who is the technical owner of that CI, who requested for that particular CI, right? So that particular complete information is going to be stored in a CI and that associated with CMDB. Now, just one question I want to check. Anyone knows what is the base table of the CMDB?
CMDB CI.
Okay,
No, it is CMDB.
it is
CMDB.
okay. Okay.
CMDB.
Now, right. So can you help me to differentiate between CMDB and the CMDB CI? Anyone knows?
CMDB is the base table and CMDB CI is the child to CMDB.
Okay, but what is difference between those two tables? Means why? Because the CMDB is introduced recently, couple of years back only, but earlier only we have CMDB CI. There is no table like CMDB, right? So why they introduce CMDB and what is the use of it? Anyone?
They have kept CI's information separately in a separate table, sir.
Okay, so means how they are going to be store the data in the separate tables, that both are the CMDB tables, right? So what they are going to be stored in the CMDB table, what they are going to be stored in CMDB underscore CI table.
As for my understanding, I'm not sure if right or wrong. So this CMDB is complete information related to asset and CI, and only CMDB CI is related to only configuration item. Is it? I am not sure.
Okay, that's something correct. Anyone else? Okay. Right. So Pratik, basically in the CMDB, we are going to be store the manufacturer, vendor, locations, and couple of other informations. But when we are talking about CMDB CI, that is mostly belongs or mostly we are going to store the CI related informations where a hardware of the CI information, software of the CI informations, IP networks, which is belongs to that particular CI we are going to be stored. That particular question is asked me, I think a couple of years back by some interviewer, and I'm also not aware about that particular time because I also only aware about it we have only a CMDB underscore CI table, right? So when we are going to be do practical on when we are moving to the ServiceNow instance, we'll showcase you what are the actual attribute is going to be stored in the CMDB and what actual attribute is going to be stored in the CMDB CI, right? We will discuss on that one. The next thing, how does a CMDB work, right? So basically, why we are going to be store or why we are going to be maintain a source of truth in the CMDB table? What is the use of it? How that is going to be work basically, right? So what how does that basically works is CMDB provide a common place to store data associated within IT assets and configuration items. Now, the fundamental blocks of the CMDB in is a CI only, right? A CI is represent under configuration management, such as a router, can be server, applications, virtual machines, and containers, and even a logical construct such as a portfolio. Data imports tools are usually used to identify CI in the environment and transfer them to the CMDB. Once all the information is gathered and unified, it must be reviewed for accuracy and consistency, and data gaps should be identified and resolved. That's how CMDB works basically. So let me give you an example here. You are doing discovery and you are running discovery to discover the Windows server. You are capturing all the attribute, whatever coming from the discovery, that can be hardware related informations, that can be IP related informations, that can be software related informations, or running processes, or how many RAMs is installed, how many hard disk is connected to the device, right? You are discovering that particular information. But there are a couple of other attributes which ServiceNow cannot discover. We should also think about it, and we also need to design the process on that particular, non-discoverable attributes. How you can plan that one. You have to design a process like location is not discoverable, right? Company is not discoverable. CI owner, technical owner, assigned to an assignment group. There are lots of other attributes which required to maintain a healthy CMDB, which is not discovered by ServiceNow. So we have to be gathered. We have to design a process. Process can be, we can build a catalog where where we can, put information CI as a reference, and based on that we can populate the different informations what we want. And once we submit that catalog after taking approval from CMDB manager, automatically that record will be created. If record is already available, that will update that existing record with that particular informations whatever filled by the requester, right? Or we can integrate with LeanIX, we can pull the data whatever available there, and we can populate that again on the same records, right? Or manual process can be manual process where we can discuss with the CMDB analyst or CMDB manager who are managing the CMDB, like this is your responsibilities where you have to be filled that particular data. This is the health metrics which you have to be observed on the daily basis or weekly basis, whatever your frequency you want, and you have to be keep your CMDB healthy, right? Because if your CMDB is healthy, how it's going to be help out? You have lots of while you are doing while any incident come, or while you are doing any debugging, you know who is the correct person to reach out that particular things for technical side, who is the business side responsibilities of that particular CI or record, what locations or which locations that particular CI belongs to, which organizations that CI is belongs to. That is the basic information I'm talking about. Because if you don't know, let's take an example here. You received an incident, you're working on incident, and the CI is reference of that incident ABC. Now, you don't, if you are opening the CI, you are able to see like hardware information, software informations, right? But there is some issue related to hard disk, right? If you want to be login in that particular CI, if you want to be resolve that particular hardware or hard disk issue, how you are able to do that? Before, sometimes you have to take an approval from business owner or technical owner if some downtime is there, right? And if that is not belongs to our organizations, might be you have to take a call with the different organization stakeholders as well, right? So if the basic information is missing, definitely it will delay to resolve the incident, right? So that required to update in the CMDB for the particular CIs. So you have clear informations about that all, what is required to proceed further to maintain a CMDB, healthy CMDB basically. Any questions in that one? Okay, right
I,
inside.
I,
Yes.
Ajay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Ajay, actually have a bit confused on CA and asset.
Mm-hmm.
Can you can you please
In,
clarify me?
in,
Like, because
in,
CA can
in
be an asset or like how?
CI can be an asset, right? Asset can be in CI as well, right? So let me, simple words I will tell you. CI is configuration item, which is storing the configuration related informations of a device. Means that, as I mentioned, hardware address, oh sorry, hardware details, software details, running processes, IP addresses, network related information. That is CI. But asset is which is monitoring, which is storing the monetary value of that particular device. Example, when it is purchased, what is the warranties time of it, right? And how much it is purchased, what is the depreciation value of it, right? What is the life cycle of that particular one, right? So that is basically asset. Now you ask me, CI can be an asset or asset can be a CI, right? That is probably depend on us. But in my understanding and the what is the best practice says, physical things can be an asset. Anything that CI, if you remember, I will tell you in the next classes as well. But let me give an example here. We have lots of virtual machines comes in the picture, right? Do you want, when you are doing discovery of virtual machines, do you want to be manage the life cycle of the virtual machines? Because end of the day, that all virtual machines connected to a physical server, which you purchase it. So you are going to manage that life cycle of the physical servers, not the virtual machines, right? On the same physical servers might be 100 virtual machines running. So virtual machines cannot be an asset because it's a virtual, and that can be, might be you are replacing, or you are shutting down the one or enabling the another one virtual machine, right? So it's very tough to manage that side. Just this is just an example. So physical things can be tracked and an asset, right? So that can be physical servers, network devices, that can be storage, that can be any type of your consumables that can going to be tracked in the consumable items basically, right? So that can be a asset, or it can asset can be your office equipments like table, chair, whatever they want to be stored in that one. They want to be maintain a life cycle, they want to be put a depreciation value, they want to be organize who is the owner of it, what is the current status of it, if it is lost it, so they can track it, what is actually happening with this particular record. That is a simple difference in CI and asset basically. Yes,
Ajay,
please.
I have a doubt.
Mhm.
Doubt on actually there are two types of CIs, like tangible and intangible. In my
Mhm.
understanding,
Mhm.
if intangible assets are asset CIs are there, they don't have as monetary value, isn't it? Is it like that? I don't know.
I'm not getting it. Come again.
Actually, intangible assets are there, which is not
Mhm.
visible. For that, is there any monetary value for that, or can we depreciation value we can you?
Right. So
I'm not sure
what
actually.
is, let me tell you what is the difference between tangible and intangible. Tangible entities, like you have hardware, software, servers, right? Intangible entities like business services, application services, emails, right?
Yes.
That is a difference, but basically.
Okay. Okay.
Now
So
I hope
they
you,
don't have that
yeah,
don't have a monetary value.
obviously,
Is
like
it like that?
business service cannot be a monetary value, intangible,
Correct. Okay. Okay, got
right?
it.
That is not an asset. You cannot track it. Application service cannot be, and that is something logical component. You can put anything, like in my organization, if I'm tracking that application service or business service, I can give anything name, right? It depends to me. That is, this is not the standard procedure I'm going to be follow for that, right? Yeah, anyone
Yes, sir.
else? I see hand raised.
Hi, Ajay. Is it my voice is audible?
Yes, this is
Okay.
a club, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yes.
Ajay, you mentioned that logical CIs and physical CIs. Physical CIs considered to be as asset. Um, what about we have softwares wherein we have two type of um, firewall, wherein the hardware firewall and software firewall. So since we are spending a money on the software firewall, which actually plays a very integral part when we are dealing with the networks. So is it the software firewall is not an asset?
Definitely, right. As I mentioned, whatever that component which have monetary value associated, whatever the component we want to track the life cycle of it, right? That can be an asset. I just give an example of virtual machine specifically. Why? Because what you are purchasing in the first day, you are purchasing a physical server. And once the physical server comes, you are going to be create an asset in that asset table. And based on that, you are after that, now you have asset record available ki that particular physical server purchased on that day, that is the use of it, and this is assigned to that particular team, that is assignment group, whatever you want to be, right? You have done it. Now what asset know about it, right? If you are going to be how you are going to be using that particular physical server, up to you. Now you are dividing, you are going to be install the vCenter on it. After that, that will be dividing on ESX servers or the virtual machine instances. Do you want to be track all the informations again on the asset table? No, because already a physical server is there, right? But if you say like monetary value is attached, right? So firewalls, you mentioned software or hardware firewalls, that definitely going to be tracked that same way on the same on the virtual machine. If we have licensing softwares running, right? That can be Microsoft, that can be Teams, that can be anything. That is we are also going to be tracked, but that we called software asset management, where we are going to be manage the software asset management life cycles, monitoring value and other things as well, right? That we are talking about, that is hardware asset management. We are going to be track about hardware related hardware assets related information basically. I hope you're getting
Okay.
it.
Okay. So as per the definition, you are saying that logical CIs are not the assets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Are we good? Let me move to the next slide.
Ajay,
Yeah.
regarding CMDB, how it works, you just mentioned that um, not all the CIs get discovered. So I didn't get that point.
I'm not mentioned the all or not all the CS get
Not all.
discovered. I especially
Not.
mentioned all the attribute of the CMDB is not discovered. Attribute means which is specifically belongs to a particular CIA.
Okay.
Service now don't have the capabilities to discover the logical component again, like company, again location that cannot be discovered, assigned to assignment group, technical owner, CI owner. That is not the part of that informations which is stored on the CI, so we can run the patterns or the props or will fetch the information and populate CMDB, right? So that are not going to be discovered basically. Is that clear?
Yes.
In the next slides, when we are going to be do, I will specifically going to be mention from which documentation you are able to see which attribute or which values going to be discovered by ServiceNow out of the box discovery, what is going to be available by SCCM or other uh, I- uh, service graph connectors or the integrations you are able to do that, right? So and how you are going to be assessed when you are going to be build a CMDB as an implementer, right? So we'll discuss about on that side as well, right? So I just want to be little basic things to be clear first of all, and then we'll move to that side as well. Okay, now let
We
me
have
move to the,
a list of few things which are not discovered.
yes, that is
Okay.
available. You can
Yes,
see
yes.
data collected by ServiceNow CMDB or ServiceNow Discovery on ServiceNow documentation. You are able to see for each classes what data is discovered, what attribute is going to be discovered. That is there. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Just in simple words, I'm just trying to, showcase the characteristics of the CMDB. So characteristics of the CMDB is seamless dashboards you have available, access controls, compliance, creation of the CI and data population, federated data sets, and IT service mapping. When service mapping comes, anyone knows what is service mapping? in just simple words?
Service mapping is the mapping of the service offering, what the system or system offering the services, business
Mhm.
services to like to us or the customer.
Okay. Anyone else just want to add anything?
Mapping between physical and logical. Yes.
Yes, right. Okay, so we'll discuss on the later part, but yeah, that is simple thing. Like, we are just doing mapping of the physical and the logical CIs to just to showcase a holistic or just to showcase a complete architecture for the particular application service or the service offering, basically in the simple words. Right. If you're able to see on right side, we have, I just mentioned a couple of, value realizations things of the CMDB where you can see that is CMDB is going to be improve the security posture, incident response and root cause analysis is going to be improved, impact analysis is going to be help out, change management and governance, right? So how the change management and governance will help if you have the correct CI updated, CMDB is up to date, you are able to see if any changes happen on that particular CI and you can track it, right? It that just in simple words, let me give an example here. You have a CI discovered by service now today, and the hard disk is 100 GB or RAM is 8 GB. But somehow, again, when you just tomorrow checked that you found a 16 GB RAM or 200 GB hard disk, right? That is changed. Something happened on that CI. So do you track how the value or how that how the hardware things is changed? Do you have any change request for that? If it is not, then definitely you have to be governance, like, why who approved that to be changed that particular hardware on that particular machine, right? So that in that comes the change management and governance comes in the picture. The same way audit and compliance is there, right? Cost analysis, forecasting and planning will be there. You have to understand the visibility if you're going to be launch a new applications or anything, you have visibility around that side. Then resource utilization and optimizations, like you can also design how many resource we require to work on those particular things, how we can proceed further, right? Then service mapping we can do based on the CMDB. Planning, including in cloud migrations, is also possible. And last is software asset and technology lifecycle planning, right? So if you have the informations, you can, you can use CMDB as a CMDB for the software asset management lifecycle as well, right? So that is the particular things which you can achieve if you have the correct or healthy CMDB available, basically. This is just a couple of things, but apart from that, there are lots of use case available which you can use or which where we can use CMDB to be performed, right? And in the next below that, when I also mentioned, like, what different modules will help out. So incident management, it help to trouble ticket engine, service desk escalation engine, right? Configuration baselines is service security management, availability is report engine, knowledge base comes in the problem management, change workflows in the change management, right? Capacity is threshold monitoring, SLA is service level agreement. So if that particular informations you have it different you know uh, modules of the service, now you can use the particular CMDB to populate, and that will improve your life, or we can say the customer life, basically, if you have that particular information available. Where, as I mentioned, just to give an example of the change management, change is something which is you can track it if any unapproved change is happening in your environment, if something you realize that is change on that particular CI. And that's what happens lots of time with the different organizations, different stakeholders. They don't want to be involved the complete management to be update what we are doing. They just simply update it, right? So that is not the process if you are working in an enterprise organization, right? What challenges we will face in the CMDB is accuracy. Definitely, right? Data will not be accurate. Lots of times we have to be integrated with the different sources to populate. But if we have ServiceNow discovery which we are using here, I think that will be very good to use it. Centralizations and different organizations wants to be different sources or different targets where they want to be stored their CMDB. So coming all the stakeholders or all the LOBs on a single place to maintain the CMDB data, it's again a challenge. We have to be convinced, we have to be give the value add of the CMDB of the service now specifically when we are talking about. Otherwise, they're already maintaining somewhere in Excel, they are already maintaining on some different tools. When again, when you're working on enterprise level organizations, they have different LOBs, they have different tools, whatever they have approved it, right? Multiple data sources, you have it, right? So uh, let's take an example again here. I am belongs to A team. I use SECM or Intune, right, for my CIs, but B team is not using that one. B team is using SolarWinds and something different, right? So we have multiple data sources again where we have to be integrated with that to populate the data in CMDB, and we need to be understand what is the source of truth if the same data is going to be discovered by the same sys- uh, uh, or two different data sources, right? So we have to be understand what attribute or what things we have to be update for that particular CI, right? Then process again is issue or challenge multiple times where we have to be design a process to make CMDB or healthy CMDB because different stakeholders have different thought processes. We have to comes in the picture. We have to be understand their necessity, their issues, their challenges, and we have to be design a process so everyone can be affected or the things will be improved at their side. Relevancy, team commitment, and the tools, right? So again, that is something where we will face the challenges in the CMDB, right? So these particular things we are going to be resolved basically while we are working using while we are working on the ServiceNow CMDB, or while we are using the ServiceNow discovery or the different integrations to populate the data in CMDB, and that is going to be improved using the ServiceNow CMDB. There are lots of other tools available in the market which is competitor of again ServiceNow, but ServiceNow is doing something different. That's why he's in top always, right? So any questions in that one?
What is federated data sets?
Federated data sets is just simple. You have different sources, or you can say different data available in different locations. There is nothing like, if it in simple words, it's just a data which you have available in different ways and which you want to be uh upload in the CMDB for CIS.
That data can be in different tool sets as well.
That can be possibility.
Ajay,
Hmm.
how access control is like uh, is related to CMDB?
Access control is related to CMDB is something where you can control the access of the CMDB. Definitely, you're not going to be give the complete access to the complete organization, right?
Oh,
That
okay.
modification or addition of the CIs will be given to the CMDB analyst or the CMDB manager, who are the responsible personas for that particular one, right? No user can come or update anything on the CMDB, right? So that we can control using the access controls.
Oh,
Yes. Anything else? Okay, let me move to the next slide. Now, what is discovery? Anyone knows? I think already is visible on my screen, but I just want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What is discovery?
Discovery is a process where you can find or explore of the like this where you can discover
Your voice is
something.
breaking. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Can you please repeat once again?
Yeah, it is audible now.
Guys, are you able to hear?
Hello.
No.
No.
Okay. Anyone else wants to try?
Ajay,
Yeah,
basically, ServiceNow Discovery is a tool that scan a network and map IT assets, including server application, database, and network device.
nice. Right. Anyone else wants to add anything?
It discovers the application and device on your network and then update it in the CMDB.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let's go forward. Discovery again, as I mentioned lots of time, the things or definition mentioned in the name itself of that particular product, right? Discovery. I hope you already or lots of people's watch Discovery Channel, right? Where one pupil is going to in jungle and try to discover whatever he wants to be, right? The same way ServiceNow Discovery works. So here ServiceNow Discovery is trying to discover the device and application on your company network to find out the relevant informations and populate in the CMDB. So to discovering that particular things, we have, you know, specific steps mentioned, phases mentioned, and you know, we are going to use the agentless uh, uh, discovery basically to find out the all information about the device, whatever install on it, what is hardware configuration, what is software configuration, how many running processes are there, and how they are connected to each other. That is the most important or role of the discovery because we are able to see the relationships here, where we can easily identify that particular host is connected to that particular stories or that particular network or that particular or any XYZ component, right? So that will gives the complete visibility to us to find out the all informations about that, right? Now, how discovery runs basically, right? Discovery runs in the four phases, or in simple words, if I say the goals of the four things, basically, the one is scan. So first of all, when we are triggering the discovery, that is going to be scan our network to identify. I will tell you the backend story later, but just to be clear about how that is done. So scan is just trying to scanning of that scanning of that particular device. Then we are going to be that is going to be classified based on the particular things that should be a Windows or that should be a Linux or that should be something, right? Then it's going to be identify is that particular data is already available or not. If it is not, then it's going to be update that existing one. If not, that it's going to be create a new one. Otherwise, it's going to be update the existing one. And then explore. So in explore, we that discovery is trying to find out the more informations on that particular device to populate the other informations. Let me give you a basic example here. If any tab is trying to let me give you in different word. Uh, okay, just one moment. Let me give you an example. I think you can correlate with that. let's take an example. If someone comes to your house and he wants to be theft something from your house, what he do first of all? He's going to be scan your house first of all, right? Where the things located, where that particular valuable things will be available, right? He's going to be scan that one. Then he is going to be classify in your house that information is available there, or that valuable things will be available there. Then he is going to be trying to understand what is valuable things for me, right? Once he is able to identify classify that particular information that is available there, then he's trying to identify that particular particular which I'm trying to theft here is already available with me. If I have already available that particular thing, why should I be theft again, right? So he will be thinking about that, and he's trying to find trying to those particular informations which he don't have already, right? So he will keep that particular data or that particular asset or anything, right? So then it's going to be explore the other data or other things in your house itself, right? Like, this is valuable for me. Like, he can find out a watch, or he can find out a mobile, or some jewelry and all, right? So he's trying to explore that one, right? The same way ServiceNow Discovery is working, it's going to be scan your network first. If it is found, if it is going to be classified first of all, that particular valuable things or that particular things belongs to XYZ, that is belongs to ABC. Based on that, it's going to be classified. Then it's going to be identified that is already we have it or not. If it is not, then let's keep it. If yes, we have it, let's see but we have it, and let's try to update our database, and then exploration to update the other things. I hope you are able to correlate with the example of it. Any questions in
Yes,
that
yes, sir.
particular one?
Any basis for classification? You know,
Do you want to be keep me deep dive right now? So I will give you an example of, okay. Classification is nothing. Classifications happening specifically in discovery based on the port and credentials. Now, let me give an example. You're running discovery on the scan phase. You find like port 22 is open. Now, you should know what port 22 is working. What is the use of port 22? The port 22 use will be the SSH port, which is required to be logged in Linux machines, basically, right? If your port 22 is opened in classifications, one classification prop will be triggered based on the port. I will tell you the step by step everything in the instance as well. But if once the classification probe is triggered, it's trying to identify, or it's trying to check or validate that port 22 open is that actual the Linux machine. How it's going to identify, how it's going to be classified, basically. It's going to be classified based on the
not audible, Ajay.
Yeah, not audible. Ajay.
We lost your voice.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I can.
Sorry, my bad. I lost connection in between. Thank you. Okay,
No,
so
no
what
problem.
I'm trying to mention here, I lost the connection in between. Apologies for that. But what I'm trying to mention here, it's going to be classified based on the credentials available. Let's take an example, the port 22 find out, but Linux credential is not available in the credentials table. So it will simply say active could not classify because it's if you see that port is open, but he's not able to find out the relevant credentials to access it. In simple words, I just want to tell you, like it have again trying to uh, trying to scan a colony to for his doing the things, and he's tried with couple of keys, but he's not able to enter in one house, right? So it's not able to classify that particular house in that particular area. So he's not able to enter in. But if it is able to unlock any house and he's able to do that, so it's now that, like in simple words, the credential is work for him, and he's able to enter that particular house to be theft anything, right?
Yes,
Pratikant.
Sajid.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
Ajay, do you have any better example?
Yes, I will try. Let me see. Uh, Let me see. Let me think one moment only. Uh, I'm not recalling anything better example, but in simple words, I in discovery things, I will say, I will tell you, scanning is something about your network ports which is enabled on the device. Okay. And based on the scanning port, whatever the port you are able to find out on the scan phase, the classification triggers. If you find out multiple ports, multiple classifications triggered, and it will try to validate the credentials from the credential table. If it is classify, then good. If it is not able to classify, it will give you a simple error. That is happening in the classification phase, basically, based
Let me
on the port.
let me just hold you over here. After the scan,
Mhm,
you says classify. Um,
mhm.
so classify is a phase of a discovery where
Yes.
our credentials has been used in
Mhm,
order to classify the devices which you says on the basis of the port,
mhm,
and ports are nothing like it's a kind of a door numbers which you were citing your example in. Once that door is identified, say example it is a windows and credential matches, it get in, and when it get in, it identifies what all the things are inside, and then once one by one it identifies, okay, uh, this is one thing in device which is connected with the windows, then it is keep on further exploring and getting more information out of it, and this is how the entire discovery runs and populates the rest of the information in CMDB, if you are seeing that.
right, exactly.
Okay.
This is the only things will happen in the discovery. Sorry. Thanks for that, Eklavya. Anyone else? Anything else from anyone else? Okay.
Going forward, we can discuss some more in detail on this, right?
Definitely, definitely. If you
Yeah.
see that particular, PPT is 171 pages, right? So I don't want to go with that all things, but yeah, we are going to be discuss on
Yeah.
each phases
Because I
or
have a few
each.
questions. Sorry.
Mhm. Go ahead.
You're saying something. Go ahead, please.
I'm just saying because why I just want to go on the deep dive, not now. Let me. I just want to be clear the basics things for now, right? We will go later on that particular deep dive, what scan phase, because I just want to showcase you practically. When I'm talking about scan phase, what scan phase actually do, how it's going to be triggered, what is the ports, where is the port information available, how you are able to find out the ports are open or not. Right? That is my end goal. This is something theoretical things, but that's a little bit clear about to moving out the practical side. That's I just want to be sure. Okay, let's
Sanjay,
move.
can we discuss the use cases?
100%. There are lots
On
of use cases.
okay.
Why discovery? Right. Again, as you know already, discovery is uses to accurate and consistent CMDB, which help out for incident management or incident resolution, asset management, where we are going to be do hardware and software asset management. If we are running security operations using the SecOps, that is also there. Change management, where we can find out that incorrect changes were happening in our organization. Audit and compliance, and again automation. If we want to do any automations, that we again required a up to date CMDB to populate that record. Right. So that's why we says discovery is one of the best product of ServiceNow, where we are able to discover the data, we are able to make the relationships and showcase in the dependency map. If you are able to see in the right hand side, you are able to see relationships where HTTP endpoint connected to the WebSphere is going that WebSphere is connected to the Linux server, and again that is something relationships built by ServiceNow out of the box. There are might be WebSphere portal or couple of is manual, but again end of the day what we want to be see how the device or how that particular host connected to network, routers, switches, or the storage or the different component of the same CI and application, web service, or service offerings and other things, right? So if it will be it will be give me a like tree informations about it, then we can see that yeah, now the informations which is covered discovered from the discovery is correct, as well as the manual attribute which we have updated here, that is correct. So we can say now my CMDB is healthy and up to date. And again, we have a metric to track that as well, how much we are able to achieve in the CMDB side. Right. So these particular things will going to be drive basically if we have discovery available. Okay. I think let me go to the next slide. I think yeah, not go to the next slide. I think we'll discuss about these particular things when I'm going to be start the CMDB and all other things. Right. So any questions in that one?
Yeah, Ajay, this is the dependency view, right? For a CMD.
This is the dependency view. Anything from anyone? Now let me give you one task to you guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be start about data centers, PRs, device types. Just prepare something, how many or what type of device available in a data center, and what is the protocol, and what on which port the device is running, and what is the credential steps you are going to use for that device logging. Simple. These three things: port, protocol, and the device credentials which is available in a data center. Right? Just try to learn that about thing. We'll discuss tomorrow about those particular things basically. Now, before closing the sessions for today, any questions, anything which you want to be discussed?
Yeah, I do have a question. When
Yes.
we're mentioning about ports, do we need to learn different types of ports for different operating systems and devices
Yes,
to
definitely,
be able
Michael.
to do?
Right.
Okay.
So, Michael, different ports, different protocols and different credentials comes in the picture when we have different type of devices to discover. So when in I think third or fourth day we are going to be discuss about the discovery prereq, then that's why I'm just going to be clear about tomorrow's data center DR and other things, and then we'll move out to the discovery prereq slowly and gradually, and we'll discuss about what specifically port required for which type of device to be discovered, what type of credentials we required to discover which type of device. I hope you got it, Brett.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Eklavya.
We were talking about discovery. Just a one question. I guess it is like, I'm jumping the gun. Um, just from the real scenarios, since like, you have worked in many companies and done the discovery part many a times. So usually, like, when customers says like, we are doing the discovery and we are getting some challenges and all. So what are the 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 very baseline challenges from the discovery standpoint, uh, like, which you deal? This will give like, a little bit of excitement and like, learning little more with your perspective. What do you think,
Definitely.
like, what all those things?
Right. So the major challenge what I feel to get because completely discovery is working on access and the credentials, firewall access and credentials, right? And the major challenge is somehow you are able to convince the network team to enable the specific port only for specific device from a specific source, that you are able to convince, right? But couple of times you need like for Windows discovery, security team will not allow to give you the local admin access. So you have to be convinced, that is the major challenge. The same way, storage team, when you are going to be discover the storage, you required admin credentials. No one is going to be provide you the admin credentials, right? That is again a challenge. And they due to some security concerns, due to some those that particular architecture of their infrastructures, they are not able to provide the access and credentials to us. And most of time that is something we are facing, and sometimes this is happening like in their organization infrastructures, that couple of devices is in more secure zone where which we cannot touch, which we cannot connect, which we cannot discover. But at the end of the day, what our job is to make CMDB healthy and up to date with every record, right? But we cannot discover hundred of CIs due to some secure zone, or security is not going to be allowed to connect it. So we have to be managed in different ways, different approach we have to be take. It might be, manually need to be create, might be some other data sources monitoring those particular records we have to be up. So there are lots of scenarios are there, but the main challenge which I mentioned to you, it's access and the credentials which we are mostly get. If access and credentials are correct, and if you are able to get in a single go, I can assure you your discovery, 70 to 80% discovery complete in a single go for their complete infrastructure. Only the 20% discovery will left.
But since like, it is a benefit, and the objective of the organization is to implement the discovery and CMDB, making the CMDB healthy. I mean, still like, people are adamant in giving the
Yes,
access.
yes, that's not giving the access basically, because now let me just simple tell you one thing. Iklavya, you want to buy a car. You think it's very helpful for my family, right? You purchased it and you are driving, you're doing something good, but in your family there are lots of people who don't like it. They say that music system is not good in that car. They say that seat are not reclining, color is not good. Definitely, right? But you say, you purchase is what is the benefit of it? Your family get benefited if they go one to outside or somewhere, they have it. They can use it. But they are not taking the benefit of it because they feel this is not like to us. They are not liking that particular thing. They want something different. Right now, but how you are going to be convinced? You're going to be convinced them. No, I can. We can replace the music system in different way. We can, do the coloring of the seats and change the seats cover and all. Right. So every pupil in the same organization will not be the same. So we have to be convinced with the different thought processes, different approaches, and different. Definitely, we are going to be showcase the multiple benefits of it, but still, and end of the day, they are not allowed due to the security reasons. That is that they we can stop it, right? So the same example applied to an again car, right? If you purchase it and that is 3-star rating car, your father is not going to be sit because they mentioned they told ask you, I am only going to be sit in the 5-star rating car, right? You cannot convince them. They mentioned I have my life threat if I'm going to be sit in this 3-star car. Sorry, I used that example, but I just trying to elaborate how that issues will be. I
Mhm.
hope you're getting my point.
Yeah.
Right? So that is same happening with the organizations as well. We have to be convinced and we have to be discussed. And thanks for raising that particular questions. I hope everyone is able to get it something from that.
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay. Ritam, your voice is, breaking for me. I'm not sure. Might be there is some issue with your mic or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out.
Okay. Then we are good for today. Any other questions from anyone?
Just the
Hi.
last one before you go,
Thanks.
because yesterday I was not able to attend.
Mhm.
Just want to know, you said that these sessions we can download by us still, and the validity is 30 days. This is
No,
what I heard.
no. So you can download by before 30 days. Like,
Before.
today's 10th of December.
Mhm.
Before 10th of Jan, you have to be download and save it on local laptop. Otherwise, it will elapse from there.
Okay.
Yes, Michael, you are asking something.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when you mentioned, how many percentage of discovery will be regarded as successful? That since we don't, it's like it's not 100%. Like, how many percent of CIs can you discover and say yes, you've done a good job?
Right. I never seen anywhere where we have achieve 100% of discovery or health of the CMDB. Right. But in my terms, what I feel, if we are able to achieve 90 to 95%, then we can say our discovery is completed. But again, that is depend on organization to organization or your, SOW, scope of work, which is designed between your organization and that particular organizations for which you are going to be discovered, right? They have something mentioned in that particular SOW. If you are able to achieve 95% or 90, we can say, yeah, we are, or we can say the discovery is successful for us, right? So it depends where
Okay.
organization to
Yeah.
organization.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. I think,
the accuracy
yeah. Yes.
accuracy of discovery uh,
Mhm.
means is it directly proportional to CMDB?
Definitely right. That is directly proportional to the CMDB. If you are discovering something and if it is not discovered correctly, that will also going to be impact that CMDB health or CMDB dashboard.
Okay, then any other factor which is related to CMDB healthy CMDB
There are a lot.
only discovery
There are
or
no. There are lots of right.
okay.
Discovery is just a source point to update the CMDB. Right. if in your CMDB duplicate record are there, stale CIs are there, orphans are there, they are not, or the couple of things is not following the compliance, or the recommended attribute, required attribute are not there, that is again, impacted to my CMDB health directly.
Okay,
There are
okay,
lots of
got it.
factors. We'll discuss on that, next specifically.
Okay, great.
I think we are running out of time now. Do you have any other last minute question from anyone else before closing the call today?
Yeah, Ajay, I'm audible now. Yeah.
Yes, Ritam.
So just a couple of quick questions. And from the first slide, there is a term that is DNS. Can you explain that?
DNS.
Yes.
Okay, so DNS is nothing, it just, let me tell you one moment. DNS is domain name system, which is, in simple words, if I say, hierarchical distributed name service that provide a naming system for computers. So in simple words, if I ask you, what is your DNS? Right. So might be your Gotra is your DNS. So like if you are using your name with like Rhythm, that Banerjee might be your Gotra. Right. So it's just a DNS for you.
Oh.
Right. So we can identify that you belongs to Banerjee family. Right.
Under which group you are belongs to.
Right. Basically.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I think then we are good. Let's close the sessions today and let's connect tomorrow at the same time. As I mentioned, just go through the data centers, DIAs, port, protocols, or the device credentials. What are they specifically used in the data centers? Till the time, have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
Ajay. Thanks a lot. All.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Thank you.